Alright everybody, I'm back again. Today I wanted to discuss the new Fox movie news, specifically with their Fox superhero films. There's been quite a few shakeups that happened today, so I would like to go through both of those. First off, I want to talk about, and this is an article from, I got the information from an article on CBR by Kevin Melrose. Gambit movie loses director, Gore Verbinski, I believe is how you say it. And man, you know, I kind of want a Gambit movie in some ways, but this Gambit movie has kind of been doomed to fail since it was announced. Yet, this has been basically pushed back because of scheduling conflicts, directors leaving, just everything. And basically, Gore Verbinski, I believe is how you say it, recently left the project. Now, the problem I have with this isn't necessarily, like, you can get a new director, but Gambit has a couple things going against it at this point. First off, we have the Disney deal looming, which is, well, it'll take a while. The paperwork's basically signed, and probably within the next 12 to 18 months, Fox's properties are going to be owned by Disney again, so if they're going to get this movie done, they got to get their ass in gear. Now, why this director left? Could it be a bad script? Could it just be awkward timing? I don't know. Maybe he got a better offer coming up. Maybe he was scared to put in too much work if it falls through, because at this point with Disney, you know, any of these X-Men projects, in theory, that aren't already pretty far along in development, could get canceled at any time. So why he decided to leave, I don't know. And especially with a February of 2019. So now they need to find a new director and get the film shot by 2019, February. And even that might be cutting it pretty close to the Disney deal at this point, because that is about 13 months from now, and Disney's deal is supposed to be, you know, within 12 to 18 months. So how this will work out, I don't know. You're going to need to switch directors. Obviously, this movie has been historically pushed back. At this point, I think you got to take the Gambit movie out back and shoot it. And I don't even really know what I think about Channing Tatum as Gambit. I don't think he really fits the role. Nothing against Channing Tatum. I mean, he's been good in some movies. I think he's been trash in others. But in all honesty, could Channing Tatum play a superhero? Probably, in the right part. But I'm not sure if Gambit necessarily is Channing Tatum's role, at least from what I've read of Gambit and what I've seen in the old school cartoon and stuff. I just don't see it personally. I mean, he did a really good job in Logan Lucky and stuff. He can kind of play that southern type character. So I guess if this movie ever happens, we'll see. But at this point, even though, again, the release date was announced, I have a feeling this movie may never happen. And I didn't think it would ever happen, but every time this movie seems to fucking die, it comes back, so we'll just have to see on that one. The next set of news is with movies that are farther along in production, namely the New Mutants and Deadpool. So Deadpool is getting, well, I guess we'll start with New Mutants. New Mutants has a trailer. I never saw it because I pretty much refuse to watch superhero movie trailers anymore. There's just so fucking many of them, and I don't see the point anymore because they never tell you anything. It's just like cool. But I'll watch the movie. And honestly, you know, the New Mutants got pushed back from April 13, 2018 to February 22nd, 2019. And honestly, I think this probably isn't a bad thing. Now, it sounds like they're trying to go in more of a horror direction, add more aspects of it, horror, play that up, which I think is a pretty good idea. I mean, horror movies are all the rage, superheroes are, well, horror movie has always been all the rage, superhero movies are fucking huge right now. So if you can get a good combination of both, I think you have just another demographic hit. Now, you gotta kind of teeter the balance, because if it's too dark and violent, you can't bring kids. But I don't know how you get it. I don't know how they're gonna try to pull this off. But I think it would work. I think it'll make money. I'm assuming based on the fact that there's not incredibly well-known actors in it, and it's a horror type movie. It's probably pretty expensive by horror standards, but overall I doubt it's all that expensive. So I actually think it would be a good idea. Play up the horror aspects, give us something different in the superhero genre, maybe try to freshen it up. I mean, Fox has been proven to do the most fresh things in superheroes. Yes, they make a bunch of crappy movies, and I covered this in my last Fox video. They do a lot of crappy movies, but they also made Logan and Deadpool, which were two of the freshest superhero movies in the last decade, basically. Both landmark films, so if you can do that with New Mutants, take a bit of a risk. I think it's cool. And also, it kind of pads out the schedule a bit more. If Gambit did get canceled, then it'll pad out the schedule a little bit more, because I think it's in the best benefit for Disney and Fox that they keep padding out their schedule. You know, you don't want everything to be crushed together and then a year of no X-Men films, because, you know, you still want the public interest in these X-Men films, because they definitely have their fan base, even though I think some of the movies are kind of shitty by them, but that's all good, whatever. So New Mutants, honestly, is it kind of a shame that it's getting pushed back 10 months? Sure, but I think a movie, it'll make a better movie 10 years down the line. So at the time it kind of sucks, but I think in the long run it'll probably improve the movie. So I gotta tip my fedora to that one. Next up, Deadpool 2 has been brought up 2 weeks, from June 1st to May 18th. That's kind of interesting, because now Deadpool is opening a week before Star Wars, Han Solo, and on top of that, 2 weeks after Avengers. Now, this is going to be a pretty interesting May movie season now. May has always kind of been Marvel drops a huge movie. Obviously, you got a couple big action movies in there, but Deadpool, Star Wars, and Avengers, arguably the biggest Avengers movie, or possibly the biggest Avengers movie, at least since the first Avengers. You got Deadpool 2, which, I mean, the first Deadpool was massive, so that's going to be huge. Then you got a Star Wars movie. It's going to be interesting to see how the box office plays out on this one. I think Deadpool and Avengers are really going to have a good time in May. I mean, Deadpool has its audience, a huge audience, in fact. Many people love Deadpool, and it's more adult, so I don't think it's directly competing with Avengers Infinity War, but you know, I think Deadpool 2 will do good where it's at, and I think Avengers Infinity War is also going to do pretty well, obviously, because it's this huge Avengers movie. But where does this leave Solo? I mean, at this point, Avengers is going to be in the theaters till like fucking July, probably, if I'm being honest with you. Deadpool is going to be in the theaters for a long time, and so is Han Solo. But Han Solo is going to be competing not super directly with Avengers. Han Solo will still have its time in the spotlight, but Avengers is still going to be taking up ticket sales. And then you add Deadpool to the mix, and I think this actually is going to hurt Han Solo quite a bit, and especially with The Last Jedi dropping off so hard. Not that Last Jedi is a flop, I'm not saying that at all. Last Jedi did quite well, but you know, I think Last Jedi proved that if the fans and the people watching don't necessarily like the content of the movie, it's gonna go down. So now with the pressure from Deadpool and Infinity War, ironically soon to both be Disney projects, or you know, one is a Disney product, the other's soon to be, it's gonna be interesting to see how that affects Han Solo, if it's gonna hurt Han Solo or what they're trying to do. I don't know. And you think in a decision like this, Disney might have kind of a slight say, having, you know, pretty much purchased Fox. I don't know if Fox is doing this to kind of spite them, to do better with Deadpool, or if Disney's kind of hoping to make money off Han Solo but sweep it under the rug a bit. I don't know what is going on with this decision. Obviously, May's a popular time for movies, but it seems like a lot to be piled on one thing. And like I said with the oversaturation, at this point, something like the Han Solo movie, I pretty much consider a superhero movie, although not directly a superhero movie. It's these big summer blockbusters. I'm a big hero man. I'm the Solo movie. And that movie feels like it's going to be a lot like Guardians of the Galaxy in feel. So seeing these three movies together, oversaturation comes to mind, but it'll be interesting to see how the box office numbers go. I think this could freaking the box office numbers, I think, will be quite a bit different if this movie didn't happen. I don't know if Disney had any say in this, if Fox is kind of trying to do this out of spite, if Deadpool wants to be kind of like coming out after Infinity War and having that, I don't know if they're going to be memeing on Infinity War or something. I don't know what the plan is there, but we will just have to see coming in May. So I guess that will be fairly interesting. So that is the Fox news. I think we've actually had a fair amount of huge Fox news in the way of movies, especially since these are three of arguably the biggest X-Men and Fox properties to be coming out until the end of Fox's ownership of the X-Men franchise, and obviously Fantastic Four and shit. But these are three of the biggest movies, other than of course Dark Phoenix. So it'll be interesting to see what this does. Is New Mutants going to be better? Is Deadpool going to fuck the sales numbers up for Star Wars and Avengers? And is Gambit ever going to happen? You guys let me know down below what you guys think is going to happen. And again, that was another update. Thanks for listening, guys.